Well, we're going to learn how to say faux, fa, fa.
Pho? Pho? Pho?
Yeah.
Pho? This is The Heart of G, an insider series on all things G adventures. We're talking about some of our favourite travel destinations, getting some real stories from the field, and sharing some practical tools that you can use to help your clients select the perfect G adventures tour for them. Learn fast, get inspired, and sell with confidence. Here we go. Tell me about this destination. What's your favorite way to describe it without giving away the name?
I like to describe this place as an Asian Italy. You've got the hint it's in Southeast Asia. It's very different between North, Central and South. In the North, we have a real history element. In the center, we've got tropical paradise, nice beaches. And then the South is the real hustle and bustle. It's an absolute melting pot of incredible food. One thing people don't realize is it's also the world's second largest producer of coffee.
Oh.
The people are just incredible and they're so happy to welcome you.
In your experience traveling Vietnam, what's one experience that's just forever etched in your memory?
That would be in Hoi An during full moon. They turn all the electric lamps off throughout the old town and you can light a lantern and place it on the river and they'll light other lanterns as well and just be there with the locals but also the tourists and really blending together and celebrating those moments with full moon and experiencing Hoi An in a whole different way. It goes from this hustle and bustle crazy place to just being a bit quieter and calmer, no street lights. And yeah, it's a really incredible way to see how the locals interact with life as well.
That sounds magic. What about food? What do you recommend we taste and sample while we're there?
Well, we're going to learn how to say pho, fa, pho.
Pho? Pho? Pho?
Yeah.
Pho?
That's one of the most iconic dishes in Vietnam, and we're lucky enough for travellers on our trips to go to our G for Good project in Hoi An at Oodles of Noodles. Oodles of Noodles is a G for Good project run in partnership with Planetera, which is our non-for-profit partner, and Streets International. So Streets International supports at-risk youth, helping them off the streets and, if they've fallen on hard times, to get their training in cookery. At G, we like to give people a hand up, not a hand out. So we use this program at Oodles of Noodles to teach these teenagers or kids how to cook and how to learn English better and stuff like that. And the whole idea is to get them to move on from the program. So we want to see them leave. We want to see them go into working in 5-star hotels or going on to run their own street vendors, selling incredible food like that. Vietnam does have a problem with children on the street, so it's a really good way of us getting those children into the program, teaching them how to cook. They get to teach our travellers the actual traditional way of cooking. Our customers get to enjoy the meal afterwards. Our customers get the chance to ask participants about their life in Vietnam. And I think if you've had Vietnamese food in Australia or New Zealand or anywhere else in the world, I don't think you've actually had Vietnamese food until you've been in Vietnam and tried the banh mi there or the pho or the famous Vietnamese coffee as well.
Tell me about that.
Oh, well, I'm not going to give too much away. I'll let you wait till you get there, but you never know what you're going to get. There's so much variety. You have stuff with condensed milk, egg, all sorts. Skip your almond latte or your regular drink and really try something different. And I'm sure you'll either love it or hate it.
Sounds amazing. I can understand why that's such a bright spot in people's memories when they come back from Vietnam. On the topic of food, do you find that a lot of people are concerned that it might be a little bit too spicy for them if they're not a super adventurous eater?
Vietnamese food caters for all taste buds. You can have it local spicy or Western spicy. You just need to ask. People are very friendly. They want you to enjoy the food they're cooking for you. So they're very open to changes. It's a country that's surprisingly good with dietary requirements as well. There's really options for everyone.
I am into the spice, but I am also a very, very, very fussy eater. So that's good to know that they can cater to my delicate requirements, yes. You get to talk to a lot of people who've traveled to Vietnam. What do you think is the ideal amount of time to spend in Vietnam?
I mean, we do trips from 3 days through to 28, but I think a lot of people spend between 1 and 2 weeks there. That's ideal if you want to see the hits all the way from the north to the south or the south to the north.
How many different tour offerings does G Adventures have in Vietnam?
We have 65 different tour offerings across 9 different travel styles. So really something for everyone, and they can encompass other countries besides Vietnam as well. We extend all the way to China from Vietnam on the same trip, so people could do that. We have departures basically every single day, multiple departures a day in peak season.
You've mentioned that there's quite a bit of variety in terms of climate from north to south to central. What's then maybe the best time of year for us to go, given that there is that variance?
There is no real best time. I think it's a year-round destination. We run trips every day of the year. Being a country that's so diverse between north and south and north, there is different weather everywhere all year round. So there's not a bad time to go. Might be monsoon in the north, but beautiful in the south, and vice versa. So anytime you can get holidays and you can book that trip, jump on it. And you know, when there's monsoon or something's happening, again, the friendly Vietnamese people will be right there with ponchos and stuff like that to make sure that travelers can still have a great time.
All part of the immersion. I'm sure some people do have some concerns or objections to the idea of going to Vietnam. What do you often hear in terms of worries people have about going to the region?
Not so much a worry, but I think the most common thing for us is that people just want to fly there. They want to spend 7 nights in a hotel and experience Vietnam that way. And we're so lucky to have incredible chief experience officers or CEOs at G Adventures. These people are making sure our customers have an absolutely incredible time on the ground in all of the countries we travel to. And they're local. They know the destination. They have a deep passion for their country and sharing it with people. They care about our travelers having an incredible time. They want them to have incredible food. They want them to experience life like a local. They want them to visit local communities. They learn about our G for Good projects and Planetera, our non-for-profit, and they care. They have this undivided passion that is so different to what a general tour leader is, which is why we gave them the name of Chief Experience Officer. We're lucky enough to have been with them, and most of those for me are now lifelong friends. I talk to them regularly.
Same.
And, you know, I look forward to meeting them on other trips. And I think people book a G Adventures trip expecting their highlight to be Machu Picchu or Cuchi Tunnels or something like that. And then they end up with their highlight actually being their CEO. And they come back from the trip and the first thing they talk about is their CEO. And I think that's a great reminder that actually meeting people on a trip and visiting community projects and things like that is actually often the highlight, not the UNESCO World Heritage Site or the Machu Picchu. It's actually the people you meet and the places you visit that are locally owned.
Couldn't agree more. I understand that there's some overnight train trips.
Yep.
Should I be concerned about them?
I don't think so. I think at G we want to embrace everything. We have a motto, or one of our core values is embrace the bizarre. And I think that's a pure embrace the bizarre moment. Get a bit uncomfortable, jump on an overnight train, experience it like a local would. And if that's not for you, then no worries. You can jump on one of our other trips, like a National Geographic trip, and those trips do flights instead. So there's options for everyone, but if you're willing to, then embrace the bizarre, jump on an overnight train, wake up in a new place, and truly experience the magic of Vietnam.
I'm curious to know more about the National Geographic journeys, itineraries that you have at G Adventures. What should I know?
National Geographic Journeys, we started partnering with National Geographic in 2015. They've trusted us to look after their Journeys range, which is great. Journeys is more about getting deeper into a destination in terms of maybe the history, the culture, the flora, the fauna. So we see some really incredible trips in places like Africa where we're staying in private game reserves in incredible lodges. They offer basically deeper exploration, immersive experiences, more inclusions than other G trips, and upgraded accommodation, which we love.
Sounds fantastic. So in terms of traveller type that would be best suited to National Geographic journeys, what do you think is the rule of thumb to follow there?
National Geographic naturally targets or attracts a slightly older customer, but we have seen that expand greatly. Like we see customers now that are younger booking onto our National Geographic Africa trips because they want to explore Africa with the Journeys range.
And how can agents learn more about National Geographic journeys?
In Sherpa, we have our agent backpack. So Sherpa's our agent portal. And in our agent backpack, we have a wealth of training, but there's the National Geographic Specialist Program. Agents can use that to learn more about not only the new trips we're operating in the Journeys range, National Geographic Journeys, but also more about the actual program and what it includes and what it doesn't include and so on. We've got our incredible agent discount program, so agents can jump on a trip for themselves and truly experience it. And we find that's a really valuable way for agents to learn about G Adventures, which is why we're so passionate about it. And then lastly, we have our global purpose specialists, which is our name for BDMs or reps. You can reach out to them. And in New Zealand, we have the wonderful Kim. Reach out to any of them and we're more than happy to do in-person training or virtual training or just wherever we can to help you learn more about the product.
Give us your fast five for Vietnam. What should agents memorize to be able to rattle off to customers about Vietnam?
I think just remembering there's literally an itinerary or a trip for everyone. We have 65 different offerings across 9 travel styles. There's something for the 7-year-old customers and the 19-year-old customers that have never been overseas. They'll get to see our G for Good project. That is definitely a highlight and a must-see when you're in Hoi An. They'll get to embrace the bazaar and experience life like a local on that overnight train, and I think they'll really love it. I think as well, the food is just an absolute highlight. The difference between the north and the south is really people are going to come home wanting, like I said, go back and again and again. And then the last highlight for me is absolutely the people. They're going to meet people with just absolute passion and dedication to making sure they have the best time in their incredible country.
All right, Nick, how do you feel about a bit of role play?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
Cool. So you're going to play the role of agent. I'm going to play the role of customer. And you're going to hit me with your pitch for Vietnam.
I think if you want a country that's a melting pot, like I said, of food and culture, different from the north to the south, you want to experience 5 countries in one. You can get there easily. It's nice and close to Australia and New Zealand. There's lots of different travel styles and tours to choose from. If you want to go and you want to explore more about the history and you want to go on a National Geographic trip, you can do that. If you're an 18 to 30s customer and you really want to get deep into the destination and meet new friends your age, you can do that. If you're a family and you want to do a multi-generational trip, you can jump on as a family and do that. Your CEO is going to take you to places that you just can't go to on your own. You'll have never heard of, you'll never find them without the help of our CEO that speaks the local language, knows the local people. They're going to wave to people in the street because they just know them. They see them every 2 weeks when they're coming through that town or the place. You will just have an incredible time. It's really affordable. The food is incredible and you're going to walk away just wanting to go back again and again.
I am sold. Vietnam is now number 1 on my travel destination wish list.
Perfect.
Boiling all of that down, distilling it to just one key takeaway, what would you say is the main thing to remember about traveling Vietnam with G Adventures?
Traveling with us, they'll get to experience life like a local. They'll get to impact local communities. They'll get to leave the country with a new appreciation for life like a local. They're going to have their local CEO. They're going to stay in locally owned hotels. If they're adventurous enough and they book a trip with a homestay, they're going to get to stay with a local family. They'll really enjoy the country and enjoy the incredible food and culture, but they're also going to come away with a new appreciation for how incredible the people are and how we can support them and give back while on holiday too and while having a great time.
Look, I got to tell you, I was a touring skeptic. I never thought it was for me. I was very much a solo traveler for decades. And then from my very first G Adventures tour, honestly, I felt like, what have I been missing out on?
And now you're hooked?
Yes, coming up on trip number 10 soon.
Wow, you travel with G more than me.
Have I just? Wow. Okay, the race is on.
You're going to fall into our Great Adventurers Club.
Do I get a medal?
Yeah, of course.
Yay.